The Steam Machine is officially out, and we did not get one. So today, we're going to be using Matt's PC for science.
And that science is installing SteamOS to see, can somebody daily drive SteamOS on their gaming system? We're about to find out in today's video after word from today's sponsor.
If you've been wanting to make some upgrades, grab a new system, or update your peripherals, now's a great time to do it with today's video sponsor, Micro Center. Right now, Micro Center is running their back to school savings event with monthly specials and limited time deals on everything from laptops and gaming gear to PC components and accessories. One deal that caught my eyes is Power Color RX 9070 GRE for just $479. And if you love keeping up with what's happening in the PC world, make sure to check out Micro Center News for the latest hardware launches, tech updates, and build guides. It's a great resource. And over in Ohio, the Columbus Micro Center is also celebrating their grand reopening. And you can sign up to claim a free 120 gig flash drive at the grand reopening. And if you're in Texas, there's even more exciting news. Austin is getting its very own Micro Center. Be sure to sign up ahead of time because you'll be able to sign up for another free 120 gig flash drive there as well. If you're interested in learning more, check out the link in the description down below. Big thanks to Micro Center for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back to it.
All right, so sitting in front of you is my personal rig, which if you want to see that video, hit the eye in the top right corner. We built this PC several months ago, back in November, for a Gigabyte sponsored project. It features a 9070 XT and a 9800 X3D, 32 gigs of DDR5 memory, and it had a 2TB SSD in it. But the reason I'm doing this video is one, we wanted to test SteamOS on the Steam Machine in 2026, but unfortunately our order is, well, not happening. Right now we're still in the queue for our order to actually get processed. It hasn't happened yet, so that's why you have not seen any Steam Machine content. But in the meantime, I've been seeing a lot of creators, because Steam has been making updates to SteamOS because of the Steam Machine, trying it again on a desktop computer, which we have done, but I have not daily drove SteamOS before. So with this PC being all AMD, I thought now would be a good opportunity.
So this video is going to be pretty straightforward. So you're going to see how to install SteamOS yourself in case you want to copy this video. And then Matt is going to be running his personal rig with SteamOS to see if it's even more usable now that they're actually really hammering out those updates due to the Steam Machine, or if it's one of those things where it's only worth putting on something like a home theater PC.
Let's whip out the laptop and try to install SteamOS on a flash drive to get ready to go.
Okay, so the coolest part is we got Steam pulled up, literally Steam, to install SteamOS.
Googled SteamOS install. It takes us to this SteamOS installation and repair section, which is mainly designed for the Steam Deck and now Steam Machine to get a repair image. But if you want to install SteamOS, you basically click on the quick links to installing SteamOS, and then it tells you download the SteamOS image here. This recommends we use Rufus, which we're used to for Windows installs. So we get Rufus, we'll build the USB, super simple there. We already have Rufus downloaded and ready to go. Rufus is actually just chilling right here.
Rufus is like a media installation tool, if you're wondering, so you can throw a USB in there and you can use it to format. You can install Windows OSs, whatever you want, really.
So we have the old SteamOS install drive from that video a while ago, which obviously there's other ways you can make bootable drives, but just for the purpose of this video, this will do the job. We're just going to format this one with the latest version of SteamOS that you can get. But first, it means we have to download it. So let's go here. Let's grab Ethernet real quick. That's going to take 22 minutes.
We have Ethernet.
All right, we'll give it the 2 minutes it's going to take to download, get that going, and then we should be able to make our bootable drive with Rufus. I should have downloaded this ahead of time. That probably would have made life a little easier, but here we are. The version of SteamOS, by the way, is 3.8.10, which I believe is the latest version because it's directly through Steam.
I bet by the time they're watching this, there's probably going to be multiple new versions out.
I imagine they're going to be trying to do a lot more versions as time goes on, especially with the Steam Machine. So going to downloads, here's our image. We're just going to throw that on the desktop real quick. All right, guys, our download is done. We're going to go ahead and open up Rufus again. So we have Rufus open. It does detect our flash drive right now that already had something on it, so we're going to wipe it. Assuming it's going to be this simple, we're going to go ahead and click on this, the repair image. It automatically set all the settings we need to, because again, on the website, it doesn't say to change anything, just flash it. Let's see if it just flashes. Destroying all data on the 32 gig drive. It contains multiple partitions, as visible, which proceed responsible for any data loss. Yep, and it is going to go ahead and delete the partitions on the drive and write to the drive.
There she goes.
Simple as that. So this should go ahead and go through. If anything happens wrong, we'll jump back in, but for the most part, this should get to a completed stage, and then we're gonna plug it up to my PC and see if we can boot into it and install it easily. We are now ready to install SteamOS. I would unplug the drive, but we're already in the BIOS and I'm not gonna do that here. So let's go ahead and go to boot options here. We do have the flash drive installed. I believe it's partition 2 you wanna boot to. Could be partition 1. Let's find out. Oh, I should probably just go to boot override.
Go to save and exit.
Yeah, let's do boot override instead. Right now, actually, there's Fedora Linux on there, which I think is Bazite also, but that's what's on the NVMe that's in there right now. But we're gonna go ahead and boot to partition number 2 and see if it boots into the SteamOS environment. Now, don't be surprised. Nope, it didn't. There you go.
one.
Let's try number one then. Oh, secure boot. Ah, this is important.
Is this ready to turn secure boot off?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what you need to do, I'm glad it says that actually. So secure boot, we currently have it set to enabled. We're gonna disable it. Yeah, I might have to restart. So do save and exit setup. I'm scared. Let's hit delete. My PC's holding on by a thread, guys. Okay, so now we're back. Boot options, looking good. So secure boot. It is disabled, not active. Let's go ahead and boot to partition number one. Now, I've seen some people say in the past, don't be alarmed if you see a black screen for a little bit with it trying to boot in. It actually might sit here for a second. It passed over and just went to Bazite. That's what's on the SSD. So I'm assuming it did not boot to that partition. Interesting.
Bad partition.
So
I mean, when you did one, so if you do it again, it gave you a menu, but it just went so fast. And I saw SteamOS, I think.
Oh, here we go. Oh, it's loading. I don't know why it didn't work the first time. Okay, we're still going.
Oh, it's flushing the journal.
This is where all the scary stuff pops on screen and you're like, what is happening?
If you're like really into Linux, this is where they start to get wet.
Oh, yes. Oh my God.
Oh,
slow down. Slow down.
Look at
I need to
lines.
read that. Slow down. It wouldn't be a Toast Heroes Linux video if we didn't actually have issues. I refuse to believe, but these other creators who have tried and are like, yeah, it installed. I refuse to believe that. I refuse that it just worked for you. That's a black screen.
Winix, we love Winix. We love Winix.
Okay, so it wasn't just waiting. I actually swapped to HDMI and that fixed it. I don't know. Instead of, it says right here, repair SteamOS install, we're actually installing SteamOS. So basically the same thing. This should load up the install screen. This repair device will attempt to preserve games and personal things. So we're gonna do wipe device and install SteamOS. We're gonna hit proceed. It is sanitizing. Oh, it's sanitizing that drive, baby.
So this is just gonna remove everything and then install Steam.
When this is installing it, it's just gonna go ahead and install to the default drive. So if you are gonna copy this at home, you're gonna wanna have just your one drive in there and then add that later.
Yeah, unplug anything extra because you might just destroy all of it.
And obviously there are like quote unquote easier ways to do it. Like Bazite is very similar. This one is just official SteamOS. Like this is the real deal straight from Steam. So that's the reason I like this one, is because it's not just some modded third-party version. Bazite obviously has more support for like dual booting or things like that. Checking, it's copying, it's beep-boop bopping. If it was that easy and we're in the Steam install screen, I'm gonna be kind of shocked.
Hey, it wasn't easy to get to this point.
It wasn't easy to get to this point, that's what I'm saying. The whole HDMI thing was a little weird, but it was sad if we were being like, why isn't it working on DisplayPort? Oh,
that it?
That is it. And we are, yes, there is a keyboard and mouse plugged in. Hey, wow, just like that, we're good to go. We're gonna let this set up. Obviously now this would just be going through a normal setup user interface. It's doing an update right now. If anything interesting happens after this, I'll pop back in, but for the most part, I'm gonna get in here, sign into my Steam, get to the main page, and then from there, I should be able to just take this home and plug it up to my setup and use it. I'm actually curious what this interface is gonna look like on a massive ultra-wide too. Is it gonna have ultra-wide support? I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get there, but we'll let this go ahead and finish the install process and jump back if there's any other issues. Hey guys, so I am back at home. As you guys can see, my PC is back on my desk, and let's show you guys what you've been waiting for. There it is, SteamOS running on the PC and with some games installed. So obviously, first things first, if you guys don't know anything about SteamOS works way better on a controller. I have a controller right here. This is an Easy SMX controller for one of our controller roundup videos. As somebody who comes home and messes with Windows PCs all day, and my PC at home is primarily a gaming system, this kind of interface is pretty appealing. As you can see, resolution 5120 by 2160 at 165 hertz. We are good there. If we go to system, we can scroll down and we can see our OS, SteamOS Halo. We're running the 3.8.14 version CPU, 9800X 3D. We also have the 8 cores and 16 threads, 30 gigs of RAM. I don't know why it's only showing 30 instead of 32. That maybe it's allocating memory for something else. That'd be interesting to look into. As you see, my 9070 XT is here running the 4.6 compatibility profile driver, and it has 16 gigs of VRAM. So everything is showing up. Obviously, you install this, you don't need to install any drivers. The drivers are built in on the kernel level of the operating system, and it just works. And we have this interface. So I'm going to show you guys some of the games I already tested. First is a game I've been playing, 007 First Light. This is a newer game that just came to the market, probably about a couple weeks ago at the time of recording this video. But this game, in theory, might not run amazing on SteamOS out of the gate, but you'd be surprised. It actually runs really well. I'm seeing no visual issues. That's always been the thing when running Linux, is seeing some visual visual abnormalities sometimes when you're running this compatibility layer. With this AMD GPU, I'm seeing no problems whatsoever. Everything's looking pretty clear. I did daily drive again with a 4070 Ti at one point with an NVIDIA GPU, and I was having some weird issues in certain titles. One of them was actually Borderlands 4, which I will test here in just a second, but performance is running good. I can't really compare if this is significantly better or worse compared to my Windows install, but just on first impressions, very smooth, and I'm getting about 80 FPS on average at this very high resolution, which is pretty comparable to what I was getting before running this game at such a big resolution. Now this gives me a good time to show you guys one of the reasons I really like an operating system like SteamOS. It's just the ease of use and console interface that really makes it appealing for people coming to PC for the first time. If you hit the home button, obviously you can go here and hit home. Your game is still running in the background. You can just be navigating on the menu here, picking games, and then maybe you want to go back to your game, boom, you're back in the game very quickly, just like that. That ease of use is really, really cool. It just makes the whole experience very seamless, and why I do like SteamOS. Now, Borderlands 4 was a game I was actively playing before the Linux challenge, and then I started having issues with it in Linux, and I decided to stop playing it. But I'm not having any issues. It looks great. Before, I was having some weird artifacting happening in the distance while playing the game, and it really just made the game not enjoyable. It was mainly with frame gen, and at the time, I didn't have a powerful enough GPU to not run without frame gen, but now that I have the 9070, I am running frame gen actually on this resolution because, well, this is a pretty hard resolution to push even with a 9070 XT in the unoptimized mess that is Borderlands 4. I am still getting 100 FPS, not too bad. We'll see if it holds up. And as you can tell, I am playing with keyboard and mouse, which again, you don't need to use a controller with SteamOS. You could literally run keyboard and mouse, and it still works as a normal computer, which I will swap to momentarily. I realize I am out of ammo. I'm gonna be spending the rest of the weekend messing around, playing some games, and also just seeing if I have any weird, like, game-breaking bugs. And then I still want to accomplish a couple of things. I want to accomplish some non-gaming things. I want to install some of my applications within SteamOS. That's normally where things get a little hairy with Linux. But first, I'm just gonna enjoy some games and report back if I have any issues. All right, guys, it is day 2, and I am back home at my setup. I just got back from work where we were doing our monthly giveaway stream at the office, twitch.tv/ToastyBros. We give away a PC that we build every single month for you guys. And we gave away a really awesome $900 PC, so if you guys aren't following over on twitch.tv/ToastyBros, definitely follow, because you do not want to miss the next giveaway stream. We do them every single month. But I'm back on my home setup, just kind of going over what my experience has been like with SteamOS recently. At the end of the day yesterday, last thing I showed you guys is I was testing a couple games, working pretty good. I did launch the Dead Space remake, which is a game I'm surprised I haven't bought. I realized it was really cheap during the Steam summer sale, so I picked it up for like $4. I was dealing with some micro stutters playing yesterday, some weird lockups here and there. And normally you might jump to conclusions and be like, that's SteamOS for you, incompatibility, all that sort of stuff. I did some Googling. It's pretty common for this game actually to have some pretty bad micro stutters. Some people say it's the upscaling. Some people say it's just the poor development of this game. It's been out since 2023 and there's really no fixes coming. So I chalk this one up less SteamOS, much more a problem when it comes to the game itself, but I will be playing this game more on some lower details. Maybe that'll fix things a little bit so I don't have to deal with these stutters, or maybe cap my frame rate. But Dead Space ran fine. The other games ran fine. I've yet to have a game that just hasn't launched or they haven't had any game-breaking bugs so far. So far, with an AMD GPU, this is a much smoother experience in terms of gaming than I had with my NVIDIA GPU during my 30-day Linux challenge. So I did install some more obscure games, which what I mean by that is games that are older and or games that you may think, hey, they haven't put in the optimization for these games yet. There's no way they run, right? They're old games, no one really cares about them. Everyone has those games that they love in their backlog that they want to play. Let me show you some of the games that I picked out. We have Wolfenstein Return to the Castle, we have Killing Floor 1, we also have Star Wars Republic Commando and Battlefront 2. I'm gonna give some of these a go. I did try Star Wars Republic Commando, and watch this. That boy's just gonna launch. It's just gonna work. Obviously, this is an older game that honestly doesn't support this resolution, so clearly there's resolution problems to deal with. But if we go into our settings here, under graphics, the highest I can go is 1600 by 1200, so that's kind of what we're running with. But when you load into a game, it is running really well, 165 FPS. This is a game that I played on the original Xbox growing up, and I've had some times where I've gone back and played it. I really wish they would make a new one of these games. The Republic Commando series, pretty dang sick. Yeah, look at this. Everything is just running as it should. Trying to do this on the hardest difficulty, and clearly I'm not ready for it. And if you're using a controller, obviously you can Alt-Tab out of there and just get back to this menu, but that game is working fine. There's no way Wolfenstein Return to the Castle will work, right? It's just working. Again, resolution, it is what it is. Can't do much about the resolution here. What is the max resolution resolution I can do here, actually. System, we're at 640. Actually, I might have to go up a little bit high. Let's see. 2480 by 1536. Apply video and it's gonna restart. Hey, look how sharp that is. Let's freaking go. That looks way sharper, by the way. That's pretty cool. Look at that. Wolfenstein, old school Wolfenstein, just running on this PC, no problems. Running inside SteamOS. Let's try another one of the games. How about the original Killing Floor? A lot of memories for me. Definitely a classic. I always remember playing the Santa map during Christmas. You got those core memories. This game's kind of a core memory for me, for sure. And same deal, resolution is capped out at where we're at right now. It is working just fine. Definitely a few weird stutters here and there, but I remember this game kind of being like that, even on higher end PCs. Let's try the Battlefront 2. We'll see if that game works. This one looks like it might be running at the native resolution. Or it's just the old edge tricking me. We can do, once again, 2480 by 1536. Accept on that. Oh, this is sick. Classic Clone Trooper, it's just working. I'm not saying that every game is gonna run this smoothly. Obviously, you're gonna have some issues. There's certainly gonna be some games that may not be supported. I'm probably gonna get a little bit lost in this, guys. This is too much fun. Oh no, I just got blown out. How do you zoom in? Okay, a little lag there with the zoom in. Let's go. We're cooking from a distance. And a lot of it says exit the windows. It's very ironic. Now, I do want to make it very clear, I'm just testing these games. This isn't me running these games for 30 days or finding weird anomalies here and there. There is definitely a chance, and I've seen people comment, that there are scenarios where you're playing a game and maybe you get a weird artifacting bug in some corner or something won't run properly. I'm just launching these and kind of just seeing if they run and work. Your mileage may vary, but the fact that this is a free operating system, and it's the fact that you guys could try this at home yourself and just jump in if you want to, like I did, and pulled my drive out and just installed it on a new one, on a high-end PC, that is, with a 9800 X3D and a 9070 XT. With all AMD hardware, it's looking pretty good, but I do have to do some actual work on my PC. I can't just say, successful video, we can game on it, it's running great. We gotta switch to some desktop mode and show you guys what desktop mode is like and how this actually can be a PC as well, and can I get it to run the following things. These are my goals. I wanna be able to install OBS first, because I wanna record myself working on the desktop, setting everything up through OBS. Secondly, I wanna be able to install my work apps, which mainly means Slack. Slack is an application we use to communicate throughout the office, Discord for communicating with our Discord community, get a web browser up and running for YouTube, and then maybe a video editing software if I want to. And then probably Parsec if I can get it working. That's how I remote into our PCs at work. Parsec is a tool I use a ton. And then once I have OBS to show you guys the install process of that, if I can get all this installed and working, that's pretty much all I use my PC for at home nowadays. And technically, I really have no excuse not to run this operating system. So let's show you guys how to switch to desktop mode if you haven't seen this before. This monitor has been off this entire time, and that's because in this game scope or the full screen gaming experience mode, you only get one screen. But once you switch to desktop, all your monitors that are hooked up, they'll just pop up. Now to get to desktop mode, we're gonna go over here and hit power and hit switch to desktop. This monitor should turn on. Look at that, I have a desktop experience. Now, I need to figure out how to get OBS installed, because there is the Flatpak Manager where you can discover software through here. And I did install a couple of things earlier. I got OBS Studio, Spotify, that sort of thing. Spotify may work, but OBS Studio, let me show you what happens with this version of OBS Studio. It's here, it looks like it works, but look at the camera and just look at, yeah, I can't even move stuff properly. Yeah, like I'm having issues. Like, look, do you see this weird navigation bug? And the camera is like running at like barely 10 FPS, moving around. And I did try multiple different versions of the video capture device. There's multiple ones you can choose from. Okay, my webcam's working now. Let me back out. God, I was like super zoomed in. So it looks like I need to be running video capture V4L2. Do not run video capture Pipewire. Apparently it's in a beta and doesn't work. This seems to be working. Camera settings look kind of gross though. I don't know why they look like that. Resolution 1920 by 1080. Oh, that just broke it. Anyways, I kind of got it somewhat working. The reason I'm bringing this up is sometimes when you install applications, from my experience, from this package manager, especially in like SteamOS and some other distros, the apps just don't work. So I need to find a more manual way to get the latest version of OBS Studio that may work a little bit better. So let's go ahead and delete this stuff and try to download one manually from another source.
I don't want to jinx it, but I think I'm actually recording in OBS right now within SteamOS very, very easily, like actually super easily right now. There's a weird angle too, because I have not adjusted for this gargantuan monitor that I got. But if I switch to this scene, look at that. We are now recording the desktop. in SteamOS. Mind you, the resolution is obviously a little bit weird because of my massive monitor, and I don't have the aspect ratio for that. And I can show you guys how I installed everything real quick, but let me go ahead and adjust the framing of this because it looks a little awkward, I'm gonna be honest with you. What we used was the Flatpak Manager to install all of these. It was super simple. In the bottom left corner, here's the most popular apps. Steam, a little weird that that's in there, but you know what? Steam. Again, basically a Photoshop alternative. Roblox, apparently. We have Telegram for messaging, Spotify, which I was listening to some music while I was setting things up. Spotify is working. Last thing I gotta see, I doubt Slack's gonna be in here. Okay, that's where we're gonna have to go to the terminal for that one. What about Discord? Discord's not in here, so you can't get everything. We could get access to another repository potentially, so we could go into Flatpak Manager and download some more apps. In terms of the out-of-the-box app store, pretty cool that it just works. And I'm just really hoping you're actually hearing this right now, so I don't have to redo this, but not bad for day 2. I think I'll pause here though, because it is getting a little bit later in the day. But this is a good stopping point if this worked the way it's supposed to, because I actually have most of the applications done that I need to, and it's been very quick. I mean, pretty painless. Okay, so final day check-in. I am here on a weekend. It is Sunday. This video is actually going live the Wednesday after I'm filming this. So this is kind of the point where I'm gonna stop and hand things over to the editors to get taken care of. But realistically, I've spent a full week with this installed on my PC, SteamOS. And the last thing I had to get accomplished was installing some of my productivity apps. And for the most part, everything worked fine, but there were some issues. But let's talk about the things that worked great, which was installing Discord and Slack. Best case scenario when you're installing something on Linux is that you can Google how to install Discord on Linux, how to install Slack on Linux, maybe specify your distro, because that does help out a lot depending on what your Linux distro is based off of. Then you'll get a command line that you throw into console, hit enter, hit yes, and from there your app is installed immediately. That's all you have to do. Honestly, when you think about the whole process of being on Windows and installing an application by going through a web browser, typing in the website, looking for the download link, hitting download, going through the install check process, and then eventually having the app downloaded, the idea of doing it through Linux, when you think about just grabbing a line and throwing it into console, it actually is a really quick process. And I see why people like console, especially once you learn the commands. You can install stuff very quickly as long as the repositories that these apps are coming from stay the same. So I'm starting to see the appeal of console a little bit more the more I use it. And I had no problems using console to install Discord and Slack. Super simple. Discord through the line in, boom, downloaded, ready to go. I was able to talk in main chat. It just worked. Slack also has a version made for Linux. I was able to do the exact same thing. Throw in the line in console, boom, install, we're good to go. But I did mention there's a problem, and that problem comes with Parsec. Let me show you real quick. So let's swap to desktop here. So this is the install manager, Discover. Yeah, Discover. This is where I installed a couple applications like OBS, and they worked. I went to install Parsec and we were having some issues. So let's go ahead and install from FlatHub. Update issue. There's an issue during the update installation process. Please try again later. I hit see technical details and it gives this error message. I copied this error message, did some Googling, even threw it into a couple different AI tools, which I will say I'm not a huge fan of the AI setup and everything that's going on with AI. But I will say if you are going to be learning something new like a Linux distro, AI does help you. Just make sure you're using multiple resources and don't rely on just one. It can help you learn some of these things. I did my own research first, found that information, and then if I'm just absolutely stuck, some sort of AI chatbot can help me out a little bit. Everything kind of pointed to this not being supported on SteamOS without directly saying it's not supported. If you look at some of the reviews here, someone in January 2026, and I know these reviews aren't everything, but this is somebody who actively tried back in January 2026 to get this work on SteamOS. It doesn't launch, and all these people are not running SteamOS. They could be running different versions of Linux. So this isn't necessarily just a SteamOS issue, but there's somebody saying as a Steam Deck user, it doesn't work for them anymore. Could be a same thing that I'm dealing with. I've tried multiple different ways, but really all my research comes down to using a different remoting software on this operating system. And unfortunately for my workflow, that's just not possible, mainly because we pay for Parsec for our entire team to use. And it's not really logical for me to get my own remote software just to go to my PC at the office, because that's really what I use Parsec for. Without that, it makes it a little bit limiting for my PC to not be able to be used for work. So Parsec not getting installed, a little bit tough. There might be a fix, and if you guys know, let me know down below. But again, with this video only being about a week-long process of me messing with it and trying to get things up as quickly and seamlessly as possible, Parsec was the one bottleneck for me. All the other apps work just fine. In terms of this being a slightly longer experience than we normally do. Normally with these, we test Linux distros, and the last time we tested SteamOS, we normally only use it for a day. And I did use other distros for my 30-day challenge, but this one was definitely the easiest process. All my games just worked. Getting stuff installed was perfectly fine, minus parsec. That was one issue I dealt with, which is kind of a deal breaker for me for daily driving, but it's really cool to see how freaking close we are to this replacing a Windows install for me personally. Now, is it going to replace everyone's? No. The overhanging issue that is always going to be there is the anti-cheat problem. And I don't care what anyone in the Linux community says, that it's not a problem, it doesn't matter, just play better games. It's not a productive conversation. There are people who like certain games, a lot of competitive gamers out there, that will never switch to Linux unless that compatibility gets fixed. Whoever's problem it is, developer, Linux, it doesn't matter. That does need to be fixed for people to fully switch full time. I'm personally happy switching over to Linux if I can get all my applications to work, but there's still some weird hiccups there, like again, parsec that could cause some problems. And maybe, just maybe, it's time for me to revisit some other distros again. Maybe go back to becasue and try using that distro again for a long period of time, because I actually have hardware that works better with it. NVIDIA was fine, but it had a lot of random bugs and made me not want to use it long term. And you at home, if you have an all AMD PC, I really see no reason you shouldn't give SteamOS a shot now. They're just making more and more updates. Steam Machine's definitely moving that along for the desktop side of things. So I definitely think it's fun. I think it worked out pretty well on my hardware. And if you want to download it yourself, use the link down below. You can go to Steam's website, do what we did in this video, and let me know in the comments down below. Do you think overall SteamOS is going in the right direction to replace Windows? Is there another operating system in the Linux side of things that I should try? I've already tried becasue. I've tried a bunch of different distros, so go to YouTube channel first before you make that comment, because you're gonna see a bunch of different distros we've tried, but maybe there's others you want to see here on the YouTube channel, and I would love to see the progression of Linux continue even further. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/toastybros, where we give away a gaming PC every single month, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Now, if you want a gaming PC that not only can run Windows, but is good for Linux, maybe you just want a Linux-focused PC, PCBros.tech has got you covered with awesome gaming PCs at great prices that we can configure just for your Linux distro of choice. Use code ToastyBros on checkout. You will save 3% on your next purchase. See you guys later. Goodbye.